Alright, hello, welcome back to Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Now, this episode might look different as I have upped the gamma, which I think honestly is making this look so much better on the recording side. Anyways, before we actually continue on with the story, as we need to go over to King Zora about his missing daughter, I just want to go out about to these magic bean spot locations that we can go to, that we have available to us at the moment. Well, just what's available, the ones that we have found, and just plant them out and about. And this first one that can be found here in the Kokiri Forest, not at all worth it at all. If I can give any recommendations on that one, depending on how you want to do things, I say skip. Anyways, over to the Lost Woods. Alright, inside the Lost Woods itself, there are two locations for us to actually plant bean sprouts. The first one is over here, left of where the little Skull Kid guy is playing. And this one, honestly, I would say skip. It has a use, but I mean, it is such a small use that I would say that it's honestly not worth it. So, yeah. Either way, the other one is, we need to get over towards that one location where we have the pond that can take you to the Zora's River. We need to go past that and go to that little secret grotto where there's that whole, like, audience chamber thing. So you come to this location, you go to the left, but instead of going straight like you are for the Sacred Forest Meadow thing, you come over this way. And you do have to deal with these guys. Get out of here. You got... Oh, not what I was interested in. We got a patch or so right here that is required for 100% completion. So... it is technically required, but depending on how you want to do things, I would say its requirements are maybe less desirable. And so, let's move over to the Death Mountain Trail. Alright, so back down the trail over to where the Dodongo's Cavern is a patch of snow right over here. And if you did not get the piece of heart that is above the cavern, that is the more or less intended way of doing things. However, if you do the backflip trick, you can actually get it without use of that magic bean. However, depending on how you're doing things, I still highly recommend getting that one. There's another use specifically for getting you all the way up to the top of the summit of Death Mountain, which could be much useful for something later on. And with that out of the way, let's head over to the graveyard for the last one that we can get right now. Alright, so upon entering the graveyard, I don't think Dumby's gonna be out because it's too late. Also, it's so nice I can actually see, like, these patches of dirt now from increasing the gamma. We got this patch of soil right over here, which again is required for completion. And if you're gonna skip any of them, I don't recommend skipping that one. And I also technically lied. There is another patch of soft soil that we can get to right now with Link. The thing is, I'm gonna have to go to that location later anyways, with an item that I don't have. And I'd rather get multiple birds done with one stone, especially considering that location is a bit notorious for having to deal with copyright issues with the music, and so I'm probably gonna have to have the game audio turned off for that one, so yes. Either way, I'm gonna go back over to Zelda's domain, and I will meet you in front of the king, so I will see you there. Alright, so as King Zora more or less just pops on in, to get his attention, we have to stand up on this platform, and then show him the bottle. Oh, this letter. It's from Princess Ruto! Let's see. She's inside Lord Jabu Jabu. That's not possible. Our guardian god, Lord Jabu Jabu, would never eat my dear Princess Ruto. But still, that strange Ganondorf came here. Lord Jabu Jabu has been a little green around the gills. The evidence seems clear. Of course, you can find Ruto. You can pass through here to the altar of Lord Jabu Jabu. I'll keep this letter, you keep the bottle it was in. Take it respectfully. Please find my dear Princess Ruto immediately. Zora! Riveting gameplay. Truly a 10 out of 10. You can't beat this. Thank you. Okay. Now, before we do anything, friendly reminder, a couple of people have mentioned here in Zora's Domain that usually you have to give an offering to Lord Jabu Jabu, that of fish. And, if you actually know where to look, there is a free set of fish right out here. Fish can also be found occasionally in grottos, but also sold inside the shop here for like 200 rupees. Don't you dare ever buy a fish for 200 freaking rupees when you can just get one for free. Like, what were they thinking? Why make the fish and the bugs so valuable and expensive? The bugs I can see a little bit because they're a little bit harder to find, but even see, but still. Alright. Also, all the water, here's a joke that everybody makes, all the water from Hyrule comes down this way. Right underneath the butt of King Zora. Yeah. But, if you think about it, there's a little bit more to that. All the water of Hyrule also comes to this pond that is filled with a whale-sized freaking fish! And I'm pretty sure the fish, not a whale. Because they did say gills. So... Zora's Domain. I look at the map... Yeah, so we are all the way over here. Technically a little bit to the north. Based on that square. So somehow that water... I can see that water going all the way over here to Hyrule Castle and the market. I cannot see, however, how it makes its way all the way over to Lake Hylia, unless it's literally going from, literally going around in a big counterclockwise circle. Maybe that's the only way I can see it actually going. Considering the other location, but still, like, wow. Also, where does all that lead? Zora's Fountain. Do not disturb Lord Jabu Jabu, King Zora, the 16th. Alright. So, we could come up here and bother him, but there is technically something out here. We could actually do this later on, but I'm already here, and I'm gonna do this now. And that is by going over to this other side of the map, where you can actually see, like, that green tree out in the distance and all this nice little bit of land. Navi, shut up! As there should be 3 things for us. One is by attacking that tree, getting ourselves yet another sculpture to show up. And another, oh boy. It's over this way. So you tried to destroy the rock, and I did destroy the rock, but not this one. And apparently I can try to grab, to no avail. But most importantly was this location back behind the wall was another Great Fairies Fountain. So, this is the third one we found out and about through the Land of Hyrule. The first one being on top of Death Mountain. The second one was found near Hyrule Castle. And the third one out here. Hello there, Great Fairy. Welcome, Link. I am the Great Fairy of Magic. I will give you a magic spell, so please take it. Oh no, I just lost my audio. Why did I just lose my audio? Okay, I need to fix this in a second. I got for Warp's Wind! Use this warp magic. This is warp magic that you can use with the C buttons, warp when you are in danger. You will teleport to the warp point when you first use the magic. You create a warp point. When you use the magic again, you can either dispel the warp point you created last, or warp to that point. Remember, you can use for Warp's Wind only in dungeons that have a dungeon map hidden inside, okay? When battle has made you weary, please come back to see me. Alright. So I really want to stop this episode right now and see if I can get my headphones to go back up and working. But I don't want to end it right here, especially considering this is only going to be like a 15-minute episode. So, how about we end it by entering the next dungeon? Now you might be asking, well, where's the dungeon? And, well, it's kind of big, and in our faces, and require the fish to actually get into. This would be him. Pop! I love the fact that Link somehow gets just sucked on in. Anyways, welcome to our third dungeon inside Lord Jabu Jabu's belly. However, do not worry about being stuck inside. You are free to leave whenever you want just by running back out. And you are free to enter anytime because he keeps his mouth open. So I'm going to deal with my audio equipment, and next time we start the dungeon. So I guess I will see you there. Have a good one.